Have you ever wondered if it was possible to turn a gazebo into a house? Well, nobody has, but let's try it anyway. So believe it or not, this is actually not my first time turning a gazebo into a house. I think I did this in 2022, which was, oh my god, that was 3 years ago. What the actual hell? Anyway, oh my god, I'm old. This is what the gazebo ended up looking like. And you know, for 3 years ago, it's not awful. Like, genuinely, this doesn't look bad, but I think I could do way better now. Just like the general color scheme of it. Like, it doesn't even have a front door. How is this a house? So first of all, I need to avenge myself because, oh my god, this is awful. But anyway, let me shut up and actually talk about the build for once. I always do this in these videos. Like, whenever I'm building something or like just chatting or talking, I go so off topic because I just run my mouth. So let me just talk about what you're seeing right now. So the first step of like any of these builds where you're turning like an existing thing like a tent or like a gazebo or anything is to build like fake walls around the building, or at least that's what I do. And honestly, I have no idea why, because surely it's easier to decorate the inside and then add the walls, because like I can't do like a sky view because the gazebo roof is there. So like when I'm decorating the interior, you'll see later like I'm having to zoom in, like it just doesn't work. So I don't know why I did it this way, but I always do. Whatever, it's way too late now to go back. Anyway, what I also wanted to say is whenever I'm doing like a tiny home or like turning something into a house, what I love is the amount of basic shapes I have to use. I find for me, when I'm normally building in BLOXBURG, I never really have to use basic shapes unless I'm like trying to use them. Like I always feel like I'm purposely trying to find a way to use them, because for me, I don't like making custom sofas or beds or anything because I like them to be functional. If I use basic shapes while building, it's because I've forcefully used them. Whereas like when I'm doing this, there's no way around it. Like a wall is too big. I don't know if any of that made sense, but what I'm trying to say is like I never normally use basic shapes or structurals or anything like that because I can't be asked really. But when I'm doing something like this, there's no way around it, and I kind of like that pressure to use them, if that makes sense. But anyway, as you can see right now in the build, I'm just building the first wall, and this wall is by far the most detailed, like having the window and stuff. And honestly, I just duplicated it for I think 3 other walls. There were ones opposing each other in the build, but honestly it was really not hard to make. All it is just a basic cube and then just resized into like different different like rectangular shapes. And then for the window, I actually didn't notice until I was making the thumbnail for this video, but I didn't actually add any glass into the window, so technically it's just a hole in the wall. But then again, we're living in a gazebo, so like, do we really care? Moving on to the color scheme of this build, and oh my god, I really struggled for this for absolutely no reason. I kind of cut most of it out, but you could kind of tell at the beginning, like when I made this a brick, that girl, I was flopping. But I eventually landed on this baby blue like paneled color, and it's a really nice color. Honestly, I think it's kind of ugly on houses. Like, especially in BLOXBURG, I don't know, a blue house just feels weird to me. In real life, sign me up, I want a blue house, please. But I don't know, I went with it because I feel like I don't normally build with blue, but now that I'm thinking about it, I definitely do. Literally like 2 videos ago, I made a baby blue house by the sea, but whatever, that's not the point. Like, in a perfect world, I would choose like a sage green and an emerald green, because I don't know what it is recently, I'm just obsessed with like greens, browns, and very like earthy tones. But I think if I make one more build using greens and browns, I think the world will explode, because I actually need to just calm down and stop doing that. So I don't know, maybe leave me some like color schemes in the comments that I should do, because I don't know, like I could Google it, but I just know that anything I Google I won't like. But anyway, let me get back to the build. Right now I'm adding these like little structural bits to the corners. They're really random, but when I was building the walls, and you can kind of see it now, they have those little structural bits over the gazebo on the sides, and I think they're really cute and it would be a shame to cover them up, so I just added them back. And I did that just using the simple like structural square beam, I think it's called. And I don't know, I think it's like such a small thing, and it took probably like 2 seconds to do. Well, clearly not, it's taken me forever for some reason, but it was such a small detail, but it makes such a big difference in my opinion. But anyway, that is enough of me doing the exterior. I can't lie, it's the same thing, I just repeated it like around. So if for some reason you were using this as a tutorial, which please do not, then that's all I did around the rest of it. So let's move on to the interior, and oh my god, this interior made me want to explode. And like, as I said in the intro, like I haven't built one of these in probably like 2-3 years, so I'm a little bit rusty when it comes to building tiny homes and things that I can't change the shape of. And obviously the biggest thing I need to have in this place is a bed, because like, is it really a house if you can't sleep in it? And in the one I showed that I did 3 years ago, I had a toddler's bed in there, which is kind of sneaky because like realistically only a toddler can sleep in that. So this time I was like, no, we're not doing that, we're gonna have a real proper bed in there so you can actually use it functionally. So I did a little test, I experimented which bed was the biggest and like the smallest, and which one like realistically could I fit in there, which resulted in this stupid little sleeping bag as being the only thing that I could possibly fit in there. And don't worry, because I do make it look cute in the end, because I cover that thing in loads of blankets and cushions, but oh my god, it was a pain. For the bed, especially because it was a sleeping bag, I didn't want it to be just on the floor, so I used once again a ton of basic shapes to make like an elevated wedge. I don't know if wedge is the right word, but like a ledge. That's what I'm trying to say. Actually, I don't know if it is a ledge, but just an elevated platform for where the bed would go. And one thing I really do not like about tiny homes is when people have little things clipping out of the back of them. So it took me so much trial and error to get this mattress to fit, because I didn't want it to take up the whole of the interior, but I also didn't want like half of the bed to stick out the back, because I think that's kind of lazy. But whatever, I do get there in the end. I mean, obviously, otherwise this video wouldn't exist, but it just took a while. So bearing in mind, if you're trying to do this yourself, the bed situation is by far the worst part of this. Let's not even talk about the rest of the interior, because all the footage I had for it just disappeared off my laptop. I have no idea where it went. My laptop didn't crash. I had no issues with the recording. I just can't find it for the life of me, and I know it was recording. So I don't know, we're just gonna have to move on to the final part, which is the garden and the exterior. And for the exterior, I didn't really have any like solid ideas. The only thing I knew for sure I'd wanted to have was small little flower boxes under the windows. I think because this is such a tiny build, like it kind of gives cottage vibes almost, and like what is more cottage vibes than having flowers under the window? Like nothing. And once again, the color scheme, oh my god. I think when I was coloring the flowers, obviously I wanted them to be blue, but like to me, blue flowers just don't exist. Like obviously there are blue flowers in real life, but I just feel like they look kind of fake in the game. And obviously I could have done white flowers or anything like that, but I just think they also look fake. I think maybe just the flowers in the game do look fake. I don't know, maybe I should have used like decal flowers or something, but I just think decals look ugly in this game. Obviously they can be done well, like when people have those like decal trees that they've like really tried on, they do look good, but they cost like $100,000 to make. And like, I don't know, when I see those like bushes people make and it's just like 2 pictures crossed over, I'm like, that doesn't look good, girl. Like not even in a mean way, it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look real, it just looks bad. It kind of reminds me of, and like I never played Royal High really, but I remember playing it a few times like during Halloween events, and all of their like greenery and trees were like 2D, like those decal pictures. I just don't think they look good, but maybe I'm just not getting the vision. So I don't know, what do you guys think about like decal trees and stuff? Because I just hate them. Anyway, as you can see right now, I'm building a door, and if you remember earlier when I looked at the old gazebo I made, the one thing I really hated the most about it is the fact I didn't have a door, because obviously I can't fit a real door into this because you need a wall, and I can't put a wall in the build. So I went for this like fake open door look, which I've done this idea loads before, so like it's kind of simple. All it is once again a ton of basic shapes, and then you just kind of make it into the shape of a door. But I don't know what it was with this door, I just kind of freestyled it, and I really didn't like the way it looked in the end. I left it and I think it looks fine, but like if you take the door out of the build, I do think it looks a bit bad, but whatever. But moving on, if you're like me and you hated the way I did this path in the beginning, don't worry, because it's now gone. I don't know why, but I'm always so obsessed with making paths concrete so it would match up with the path, like as in the actual path on the road that we have in the game. But I don't know why I always do this. Like I built this gazebo in the corner of my plot, like it's nowhere near the path, so I haven't built it yet, but I actually do end up going for like a mud dirt road, which I think looks a lot better. And I need to remember that like I don't have to use grey concrete for every single road and path, but I just do. Anyway, right now with the build, I'm just adding some trees, I'm adding like a birdhouse and stuff like that. I was really trying to make a bird bath work here, but it just didn't look right. So instead, you guessed it, I just went for more flowers and more plants. I also don't know if any of you have actually caught this, but there isn't a bathroom in this build. And for me, when it comes to tiny homes like this where you can't change the shape, it's so hard to fit like a toilet and a shower and a sink in there. There is, and you'll see in the end, there is a sink inside it with the kitchen-y kind of area. So technically you can get all your moods up in the gazebo, so it is functional. But you'll see in the end, I did add like a little outhouse kind of thing around the back, which technically I guess is cheating because like it doesn't actually fit in the gazebo, but you know what, it's my video, it's my rules, so I don't care. But anyway, we are basically done with the build now, so let's go take a look at the final result. So that is how the build turned out, and let me know if you liked the montage. Before I go, let's do a final walkthrough of the transformed gazebo. So on the exterior, there are lots of little plants and birdhouses, and it's kind of very naturey. When you walk in, you're immediately greeted by this bed, which is actually a sleeping bag covered by lots of pillows and lots of duvets and cushions. But as you can see, it's also fully functional. As well as that, above the bed, you can see a TV, which helps you get your entertainment mood up. And then to the right of this, we have a little desk with a laptop, which is once again another spot in the house where you can get your entertainment need up. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you obviously can get your energy up from the bed. Moving around to the other side of the house, or I guess it's not really your house, the gazebo, there's like this mini kitchen area, and although there is no counters, you can't cook like salads or anything which require chopping. You can in fact make hot dogs and also take quick meals out of the mini fridge. So once again, you can get your hunger need up in this gazebo. Slightly to the right of the kitchen, we have a sink, and obviously this can be used in both a kitchen sense and also the bathroom sense. But the sink allows you to wash your hands, which also gets your hygiene need up. And there you have it. The entire gazebo can fulfill every single one of your needs. However, if you're looking for a real toilet and a real shower, walk around the little dirt path, you will see this small little outhouse area, and it looks awful, but it's functional, and really that's all that matters. And that has been me answering the question no one has ever asked, if a gazebo can be a functional house. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. If for some reason you made it this far and enjoyed me talking absolute rubbish for 10 minutes, then like, subscribe, do all of that, and I'll see you in the next one.